Last week we also had Google I/O, which was that in person again? Do you know, Don?
Everything I saw was recorded, but I wouldn't have been surprised if they did it in person. I didn't even look.
Well, I know Microsoft was still doing their events.
Ironically, Don was there in person.
Don was there.
Yeah. He's not here in person, but he was there.
That's where he is. Yeah, they were.
I used to get so excited about Google I/O, and then because they used to, well, we're about to talk about some of this, but they would bring out all these new products, and their gift bag was just known for being the best. If you went to Google I/O, you were going to get some really sweet swag. But about 5 years ago, that really started to change, and it became where going in person was no different than watching online. So I haven't even entertained the idea of physically going.
Yeah. Well, this was an interesting one. This article from Ars Technica kind of sums up what went on, and it's not the best light here. It says Google's past failures were on full display at I/O 2022. All of your favorite dead products from the past are back, and it really is. I mean, I went through this whole thing and was like, yeah, that died.
They've become the movie industry where they're like, let's take old ideas and just put a fresh coat of paint on it and call it new.
Yeah, like we've got the tablets. We've got Android watches coming back. We've got Google Glass, which they just said, hey, let's just make this uglier, and they did. And Google Wallet, which was. Yeah, it was Google Wallet, then Android Pay, then Google Pay, and now Google Wallet again. So that basically sums it up, right?
Yep. So I knew Google I/O was going to happen, and I was expecting to have at least one or two products come out of it that we could talk about. Usually they do something with their Chromebooks. They've got that Fuchsia OS that's been kind of sitting on the sidelines for a while. There's been talk about a lot of really great things coming down the line. Microsoft integrating the ability to run Android tablets Android apps on Windows 11. I figured there'd be some exciting things, and there really weren't. This was like deja news, if we wanted to throw it into a segment. It was like stepping into a time machine, into like maybe a DeLorean in only 4 days.
Last week.
So it really was just bizarre. It was shocking to me, and effectively they're stepping up and they're saying, look, we launched all these products and we let them all die. We didn't support them. We just cut them off. We didn't do what we wanted to do. Now we're going to step back in and try and do it right. But they're starting over from scratch. And so they're behind the competition pretty far. The tablet they announced was really lackluster. And I was a diehard Android tablet user for many years. I still say my Asus Transformer, that TF101 that I had, was one of the best devices I've had in my computing career.
Well, it sounds like they're trying to compete with like the Amazon Fire tablets there that are pretty bare bones, but cheap as hell.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's the market they're going for. But it's hard to get excited about that. Like, it's a low end tablet, wonderful
Amazon tablet, or
like
you said,
Android
low end tablet. Yeah, they're great. I bought a Fire tablet and it was like
disposable.
$40.
Yeah,
I'm like, why?
It's got
would
ads
I buy
on
this?
So you got rid of those. Get around.
Yeah, I got rid of that junk.
But if you look at an Amazon tablet, the Fire, you can say, well, Amazon's been putting those out for what, 10 years now?
Yeah.
And they're not going anywhere. They're committed. They're behind it. Versus Google, where they released the Pixel tablet, waited 3 years before releasing their next one, which I've even forgotten what it was called. They killed it off within 1 year.
I guess the Pixel
and then
2.
For the last 3 years, they have not had a tablet at all. No tablet OS updates, just nothing. Samsung's been really doing most of the Android tablet updates. Google's focused on the Chromebook. They abandoned all these other products, and now they're bringing them back. Well, as a consumer, do you want to buy that? Do you want to take that risk and say, all right, well, I bet they'll support this tablet this time. I bet I'll get timely updates.
That's like what you were saying about the Corsair laptop. Like, don't buy the first gen. Well, also don't buy something if they've got a track record of not really supporting it. But you mentioned Samsung, and is it the watch here that is a partner deal with Samsung?
The watch, I know, like Google and Samsung had a bit of a tiff a while back, and Samsung had threatened to abandon the Google platform for their watches, and they were working on, what was it called, Tizen or something like that?
I don't.
Do you remember, Daniel, what their weird OS was?
I do not recall.
I want to say it was called Tizen. I shouldn't say was. They still support it. It's used in the refrigerators and washing machines. So
It just made me think of Silicon Valley, that episode where Guilfoyle hacked the refrigerator.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, go watch that one. That's fun.
I've not seen that one. Oh, but I did just find it in the article, though. Samsung is dumping Tizen, it says, and they're going to start using the.
There it is. Yeah.
It'll be the next dead thing they wheel out on a slab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember 3 years ago when we killed Tizen? It's back with
Tizen
vengeance.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for me, I used to use a ton of Google hardware, and over the last few years, not just with their hardware, but even their software, it's become so difficult to trust whether or not Google is going to maintain something that it's just, I try and steer clear of it, to be honest with you.
I will say, even though it's just a rehash of what they had before and doesn't seem to be as feature rich, the Google Glass, I watched the little video in the article here, and they show it used in a translation capacity where people can talk and then I would see the transcript of what they're saying in my native tongue, which is pretty cool. And it actually, like they showed it as a use case too for people with hearing problems that can actually get a transcript of what the people around them are saying, even if it's in the same language. So that's pretty cool. I could see that as a neat feature, but not necessarily the mass appeal. It's either, if you're traveling all the time or if you've got a special use case for that. And at least the image that's here in this, I don't know if that's the last one or the new one, but that's ugly as sin.
It looks like safety glasses.
It does. It really does. But
like
in
a
the
welder
video,
would wear.
The ones in the video look cool. They look like Wayfarers or like the Ray-Bans with just clear lenses. But who knows what they're going with. But yeah, so
I had heard that it was so when the Google Glass came out. I could
Originally?
verify this. Yeah, the original Google Glass, and like a bunch of hipsters in large urban areas like New York City and Chicago and stuff were like all hot and bothered about it. Never read it. I want this. And then Google was only. It was like by invite only that you could get them for a certain time, and that just some hipster one day said, "I'll fix this problem. Google Glass is dumb. It's just stupid." And then every hipster went, "Yeah, Google Glass is stupid."
that was their approach.
Goodbye, Google Glass.
That was their approach. Like Gmail, remember when that was invite only in the beginning?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I had to get an invite to get my Gmail account.
Come on.
Yep. Now with Google Glass, though, when they killed it, like they really killed it. I have a pair of Google Glass sitting in my office right now.
Like Don had to buy the lie.
you can't use it at all. Like you can't. It does
'cause it, like, needs to
absolutely
phone
nothing
home
now.
or
Once
something?
they turned off the cloud servers, it's dead.
Huh.
That's crazy.
Surprised
I wonder if
somebody
anybody has like gotten into hacking old Google Glass and like creating their own cloud service for it to like repurpose it.
Yeah, that'd be
I'll
interesting.
have to look into that.
Well, no need because it's back. I wonder if you can.
I still
fire
feel
it
like
back
there's
up.
a need.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if you can fire it back up and get on this new service. But
I don't know. It's 10-year-old hardware now.
yeah, but again, it didn't seem to do anything new in the new one. So
It's just Google
That's
Glass.
true.
that's kind of the point.
You remember Google Glass?
It doesn't do anything new, but it needs a special AI chip now.
Yeah. There you go.
Because AI.
It's got it's got a touch bar now.
Yeah.
It's an iPad. It's just taped to the top.
If you like playing heads up, it's kind of like
It's
that.
like that. It's exactly like that. Yeah. So not the best review of Google I/O there from Ars Technica, but seems to be pretty accurate based on what came out.
If you enjoyed that segment, be sure to check out our entire podcast available in the playlist right here. And you can always subscribe to stay up to date with the latest tech news and other happenings in the IT world. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for new episodes. I hope to see you there.